can you beat Sonic 3 and Blue Knuckles without pressing right or left? Keep in mind that I said Blue Knuckles. Bill Bob and Game Champ 3000, they did not do Blue Knuckles. They just did regular Knuckles, but that's boring. You want to see some interesting stuff. Things like, how many left or right presses would Knuckles take if he was in Sonic's route? That would explain on why he's blue. The rules are simple. Rule number 1, we cannot press right or left, or at least we have to find the minimum. Rule number 2, we're only allowed to take Sonic's path unless Sonic and Knuckles take the exact same path. And rule number 3, we have to use debug mode in areas where we cannot continue even if we ban the rules for this challenge. Are you caught up on all that? Good. Let us begin. Angel Island Act 1 is pretty straightforward. We get through this part right here with the first boss, and then we continue on, and we have to use debug mode in order to get up here. And now we defeat the boss. Pretty simple stuff. Act 2 gives us some problems. Everything starts off fine until we get to this part where we have to jump and glide at an insanely precise time. It will take a few tries, but eventually you will get it. And the rest of the level is easy up until you get to the airship. Now this is where I introduce to you a feature that is only exclusive to emulators. Reverse. Now if you've seen the footage cut a lot, that's only because I cut out the reversing just to get straight to the point. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. But regardless, this is an extreme help to this challenge. Otherwise, I would have to restart entire sections all over again, and that wouldn't be fun. Really, it wouldn't. But just know when to time your jumps right, know when to glide, and eventually you'll make it to the boss, who immediately just teleports off the screen. We complete the level anyway. Even though we didn't defeat the boss, we still made it anyways. Moving on. Hydrocity Zone is also pretty easy. Just take the topmost road, keep gliding and climbing, yada yada yada. Up until you get to this part where you have to choose either the top or the bottom. If you take the bottom, you will eventually get stuck. When you take the top road, you'll skip immediately to the boss. There really isn't that much to say about Hydrocity Act 1. Act 2 on the other hand, oh boy. First off, this wall. Okay, this part where the wall closes in on you, it's really not all that bad. Although it did have this weird depth. Why is that? I have no idea. But if you keep going, you'll eventually make it to these fans and you have to press left. So that's one left or right press added to our counter. But let's not end the fun here. Let's keep going. Now for the trick is keep taking as many routes as possible, and eventually you will get the right one. And I'm not gonna explain how to do this. Just keep taking as many routes as you can. If you know this game extremely well. So if you know this level really well, this should be a piece of cake. And the boss, it's also impossible because there's no water during the boss. Moving on. Marble Garden Zone is basically just it's basically just a momentum-like level. Although one thing that sucks are these stupid spinny things. You have to press right or left in order to move. Okay, yeah, some of them you can just jump on them and they move automatically for you, but those are few and far between. But other than that, Marble Garden is just a boring level. Like, you just go through the movements. Although Act 2, Act 2 is just more the same, like just go through the movement, and then we take Sonic's path using debug mode again, and we make it to the boss. The boss is kind of the only thing worth talking about. You know, if you played this game, you would know that in Sonic's version, Tails flies you and you have to jump onto him. I can't really do that, because if I jump, Tails will just catch me again. So I have to use Tails in order to maneuver my way through. And the only time I can hit him is if he's going sideways. I can't hit him while he's going up or down. And trust me, this took me a long while. It's not fun. The footage may look like I'm doing just fine, but if you pay attention to the cuts, you'll know that I had to reverse a lot. Trust me, you have to carefully move. If you mess up, you'll either have Tails hit or you'll miss it, which is way too hard. But with enough trial and error, you can indeed make it. Carnival Night is probably the most interesting stage in the Sonic 3, and at least the Sonic 3 portion of the game. Now, everything starts off, Act 1 isn't really too special outside of the boss, like, it just sucks. You just get lucky and then you're done, but outside of that, Act 1, you just go on. Although Act 2, on the other hand, is an entirely different story. If we take the top or the middle path, we will eventually get stuck on the little spinner things. So we have no choice but to take the bottom path. And if we continue on to Sonic's path, we'll get stuck. So we have no choice but to take Knuckles. Now I'm not gonna make this count because they both end up leading to the boss anyway. Now, if you pay attention to Game Am 3000 videos, you'll know that in order to get past through this, you have to hang on to this very specific section of the wall and then glide right to the next section. For me, it was an extreme pain to do. You either hit the spikes or miss entirely. And sometimes you'll get caught in those stupid fans. And this took me a lot of trial and error. And this took me like 10 minutes to do, but eventually I finally did it. And if you think, it's the end of all the pain and stuff. No, we're still not done, because Genshin 3000, he got the easy route, he got the lucky one. He didn't have to do the stupid boss. The boss is so stupid. Why? Because it basically just throws momentum out the window. And when the electricity stops, you also stop. You can't just continuously jump and get more momentum. And here's my recommendation. Get a lightning shield. It helps. Yeah, but guess what? The ball damages you. Why? Why does it have to damage you? But there was one in Slip'em Hog that only made me have to do 2 of these. If you glide onto the left side of the wall, you can turn around. And that saves a bunch of it. But it is still 2 left or right presses, which is a bit of a letdown. Yeah, but this is what you get, Egg Robo. Let's just get... So yeah, if you can tell, this was an extremely interesting but also kind of painful level to do. Let's just move on to Ice Cap. Everything about Ice Cap except for the first boss is such a relaxing break. First up, you get to watch Knuckles run down the mountain, which I can't show you because I don't have the footage and I don't know why. But I can't show you, but like Knuckles can like run down the mountain, which is pretty cool to see. And again, you just keep going. And like, it's just a nice relaxing level. Even if you take Sonic or Knuckles' path, it is just nice and relaxing. And I take Knuckles' path because like it just joins the Sonic section. And anyway, like the only time I will count Sonic's path is if they're completely different, like in Angel Island or Marble Garden. But yeah, Ice Cap is overall just a really relaxing level, except for the boss. The boss was just so tedious. You just have to hit him at the perfect time, or else you'll take damage and you'll get onto the corner of the screen with no way to turn around. So like, just be incredibly patient and you'll get through. Ice Cap Act 2, it's also relaxing. Like, again, there's really not that much to say. It's probably the easiest level in the game. Like, there really isn't that much to say about Ice Cap. It's just a nice, relaxing level. Well, time to move on. Sorry if this part was kinda short, but we're already at the final level, so don't worry, I'll release part 2 when I get all the footage and all that. But here we are, the final level, Launch Base Zone. And I hate to be anticlimactic, but Act 1 is like, kind of like going through the motions. And the only thing worth to notice is that I somehow discovered this secret path that I never knew about, where you just climb on this wall for like 40 million years. But there really isn't that much to say. Oh wait, the boss. The boss, it well frickin' sucks because these guys will not stop moving away from me. They constantly move away when I climb up, because Knuckles climbing is so slow and I don't have his super form. They easily get away from me. But if I don't climb up and instead just like wall jump from side to side, you can easily get through this boss. But now, here we are, the final level of this part, Launch Base Zone Act 2. And believe me, I really tried to avoid this one spot, because there was no way you can get through that one spot without pressing right or left. And I tried looking for alternatives, but the paths are either too high for me, or some alternate path just leads me to that place. Like, I tried, but I couldn't find anything. I looked all over the place, but I couldn't find it. So this marks our 4th left or right press. But outside of that, I hate to be anticlimactic, but there's really not that much to say. Again, I really hate to be anticlimactic, but there's just really not anything notable. And if you're wondering, yes, all the bosses, they're also kind of anticlimactic. Sorry if this part was anticlimactic, but don't worry, part 2 will make up for this. And if you can find any ways to remove these presses, let me know in the comments. See you all in part 2.